There we go. I did it. We are not, I really hope today goes well. All right. Hi. Hello. How are you? We're gonna, oh, there's my chair. Okay. I really need a different chair, but we'll see. All right. Hello. We're gonna do our makeup today. Tomorrow is St. Patty's Day. I don't have a St. Patrick's Day mug, but I do always drink out of this green one. And I wore a green workout shirt because I'm gonna go do a little workout after this with makeup on, because that's how I do things. And I'm late today. I know, I'm sorry, it happens, but okay. There is a fun gift with purchase coming, and tomorrow only, any purchase. It didn't say anything about a price limit, which makes me happy. You will get a free Lucky eyeshadow. I have been using this as my eyeliner, and it's really great because, yeah, it looks super green, great for brown eyes. Green is a good color, but I use a wet brush, which makes it deeper. Hello, good morning. And I've been pretty minimalistic lately of not doing my eyeshadow, and I'm unsure about doing an eyeshadow today because I've just been kind of enjoying just the regular tint of my eyelids. Where is, there it is. Okay, I need some eye cream. So we're gonna pop into this. This product right here is by Beauty Society. It's called Upgrade, and I use this all the time. Everybody always gets at least, I sell a couple every Monday because I use this on all my Monday lives. This is their product of the month. They have an Immortal Eyes, which is a great morning and evening eye cream, or you can add this to your morning regimen, and just that little doe foot. It's really cold because it's a little metal guy. You can refrigerate this. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, Misfit. And this, you can set it up for a regular, what is it, a subscription? I hate subscriptions. The nice thing about Beauty Society is you don't have to, but it's 20% off this month. So if you're wanting to try this, it's 20% off. If you set this up for a regular shipment, which I would recommend setting it up for a quarterly, so every 3 months. This will last you 3 months. This lasts me 3 months. I only use it in the mornings. I love this. It's just nice. And if you get it for a regular every 3 month subscription, it's 50% off. I wonder if I have my computer today. We can look up the price. My last 2 lives have gone down the pooper where they cut me out. And probably because, I don't know, I have my feelings about why I got cut off yesterday or last week, but it is what, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm up here. But yeah, there is a free gift with purchase. Also the beauty boxes. I think you can still order a beauty box. They are by far my favorite. I rarely have to actually buy things with the beauty boxes and the advents that they do. They usually do a summer one and a Christmas one. But there it is. Upgrade. This stuff is so good. You can get it this month for $40, for $43. And they always have points going. Good morning, Roseanne. I love this eye cream. I don't talk about Beauty Society a lot, but this stuff is good. This is one of those things where whatever your skincare regimen is, this is a good one, but you can get it 50% off. So I think even less than $40 if you set it up for every 3 months, which I would recommend. I don't think all the skincare, everybody's like, that price, it can be a lot. Good stuff does cost a lot sometimes, but also this skincare regimens, which I love their skincare regimen because they have one for oily, maturing skin, which everybody thinks because you're getting older, that means you're getting drier, and that's not always the case. But you can set it up for auto ships, which makes it cheaper, and all their regimens last 3 months or more. And even Saint's skincare doesn't last 3 months. It lasts a month. So that's what I gotta say about that. All right, we're gonna do the makeup. I'm gonna pretty much just do eyeliner today. I do always waterline, and where is it? There it is. I did see something, I haven't tried it yet, where you pop the Saint pencils in the freezer and it makes sharpening better. But I am gonna waterline. I just think it makes my lashes look fuller, and I wanna do that. And so I'm gonna roll that up, and then I'm going to Waterline. This is pretty simple. The one thing that I like about it goes on really smooth, but also it sets. And also, here's the thing that always, and I say this because I just did this the other day. I love my tattoo studio, but then you get down to here. Is that focusing? Do you see how you can scratch your dang eyeball because it gets so close to sharpening? And then you just lose product because you're constantly sharpening because you don't want to hurt your eyeball. But this, you don't have to worry about that because it twists up, so you don't have that whole thing to worry about. But waterlining, whether it's sharpened or flat, is pretty dang easy because it's just like that. And then I just go into my lashes on the outside. All right, now we're gonna do liner, but waterlining, I feel like if you have sensitive eyes, this product is actually pretty good, and then it goes back down like a tube of lipstick. Anyways, it goes on super silky. It's called a silk, and it sets really fast, so there's not transfer to the bottom. You see that? I am who I am. I do what I do. All right. So we're going to use Lucky because, again, tomorrow only, free gift with purchase. So if you need a restock and you're wanting to try this, because I'm telling you, it adds, there's black, which I love, a good black liner. But then if you use a color, one of the other colors I really like using, and I just used this on a friend of mine who has the most beautiful blue eyes. I used Baker Street as a liner. It was so pretty. I've just been using different colors other than black. Black can pull a bit harsh and abrasive. So finding a deeper shadow and then getting the brush wet has been a game changer. There's two ways to do liner, in my opinion, when you're using an eyeshadow, and that is with a straight edge brush like this and getting it wet. And this, you get it wet and it makes it really good and thin. This is dry and it's nice and thin. But when it's wet, it's more of like a point and it's wide, so you can stamp a straight line if you want. The other brush I really like for liner is the end point. There is two ends and it's just so nice. I prefer the end point on me, but when I'm doing other people's makeup, I use the etch brush on this square end, and it's so nice to just, I like a good clean stamp along the lash line that is not a liner. It just fills in and it gives a clean edge to your eye without making it look like an eyeliner that closes things up. All right, I'm gonna use my Plush and Prep Mist, and I'm gonna get this end wet. And I like it pretty good and wet. And then you can go in, and this is a pressed pigment. I wanna say I know what that means, but I really don't, because some of our eyeshadows seem like a pressed pigment and they're not, but we're just going to go in and we're just going to picking it up. And I always pull down so that the frayed bristles go in. Get yourself a good little mirror that has either a magnifier or not. And then we're just going to go on the outside here. I'm gonna go in and we are going to just push this into the lash line and work our way up the lash line. And then you can just give that tiny but mighty. All I'm using this for is I want my lashes to look fuller and I want my eye to look like it has lift. I think it gives it a more youthful look. And this doesn't set the way the eyeliners do, so you can work with it more. Plus it's eyeshadow, so if you mess up, it's easy to fix and clean up. But I'm just giving this a little outward flick to build. And then I'm gonna take my nail and cleanly pull it. And it's just little tiny but mighty, and then I can just deepen and build as I want. And then your nail can just clean it up. And if you feel like your nail isn't, give your nail a little lick and it cleans it up even more if you want it to, and gives it a little extra. Look at how pretty that is. It's practice, but having a small brush is good. And then I'll always get right here. I do need to clean out right here. That's making my eye water because dang, it was a long night. My husband is away on a work trip, so there's nobody to tell me it was time for bed. You know, sometimes we aren't that couple that go to bed at different times. Who here goes to bed with their spouse? And who here does it separate? I go to bed with my spouse, and he's always like, come on, dear, time for bed. And then I make him hold my hand and walk me like a little old lady to bed. All right, so wet. I get it wet again. Setting spray tends to dry out, and then I just grab some more. I just give it a little swirl, little pulley pull, and then we're gonna do it again. All right, good morning, Alice. All right, so we're just gonna do the same thing over here, pressing into that lash line to where it hits the top of the, and whether it gets down here, I just don't care because I'm gonna do my makeup after. I will always do my makeup after, but do you see how deep this pretty green is with a wet brush? That's what I like. So it just adds a little bit of softness, but the green I think works well because there is a little bit of green in my brown eyes. A little bit. It gives it that nice little vomit look color. But when I put green liner on, it does pull more of a green brown, which can give it a little bit of a lighter look. But look at how pretty that little wing is just using your fingernail. And if you notice that it's not really moving it, just lick your fingernail and give it a whirl. And then do the cleanup. And then I always hit the inside here, and then we can go in and do my favorite mascara, which I did link my favorite mascara today. It is FanFest, and it's by Benefit, and I love it. I'm gonna stay zoomed in for this because I really want you to just focus on, I use Babe Lash. And with Babe Lash, I feel like I get volume growth rather than length growth. I want length growth, but a good mascara can do that. It's just about the way you put it on. All right, I am gonna go to my etch brush on the shorter end here, and I'm gonna grab that Lucky again. I'm gonna put it on the bottom, not wet, dry. So I'm just gonna take the short end of the etch brush, grab it, and we're just gonna add a little down here. Just a touch. Just a touch. I don't do too much. And then I'm just gonna clean up if there's anything, but that's it. Not a lot. I like this green because it looks kind of green and scary, but it's not. Right? Right. Okay. Yes, it is pretty out, Ashley. I like it. All right. Putting on mascara, and then everything ends up tying together with the rest of the face. Even my hair looks better with makeup. Have you ever noticed the way hair or makeup can change the outfit, the hair? It takes a messy bun and makes it look like you did your hair, but it's just a messy bun. All right, FanFest is a volumizing mascara, but what I was saying with the Babe Lash is it does cause eye discoloration, and it's kind of been working to my benefit to where liner is all I need. All right, volumizing mascara. I like this chunky brush. So again, the same thing I always do. I'm gonna get this into the base, wiggle my lashes into the brush, and lift. Middle, we're gonna do it again, wiggle, 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 lift, into the inside, wiggle, 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 lift, back over, go into that middle, wiggle, 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 lift, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle on the outside, and lift. This builds volume. Do you see how it changes the volume? Then we're just going to work on combing our lashes up and stacking. So as this starts to set, if you need to refill. I like getting the travel size first, try the travel size, and then go in and get the full size because you're gonna want it. I did link one that comes with both, so you could either try the travel size, decide you hate it, and go gift the other one, or the travel size is your travel, and then your other one is not. But as you're building this and you start feeling things get tacky, stop. You're going to get chunky if you do that. But do you see how that method of really building at the base adds that volume? Now we're gonna go down on the tips, roll away and pull, roll away and pull. And this is gonna build product on the tips to add some length. I prefer this over tubing. I have a wild one right there, and then I need to stop. If I add more, it's gonna get tarantula legs. And then I'm just gonna add with the back end of the arch, a little to the lower lash line. I focus mine on the outer half, but not too much, just a touch. And that's my mess. Do you see how natural lashes are back, Jack? So there we go. All right, we are gonna do the other side. You just didn't need to be that zoomed into my face, right? And then we're just gonna wiggle, lift, wiggle, lift. What's everybody doing for St. Patty's Day? What are you making? I've never made, what is it, cabbage soup? But I've heard a lot. What is it? What's the other things everybody makes? I'm making shepherd's pie. I always say I'm gonna make it throughout the year, and then next thing I know, it's St. Patrick's Day again. And so tomorrow I'm making shepherd's pie, coleslaw, and soda muffins, all from scratch. I'm gonna be a busy baker tomorrow, and we're gonna go have dinner down at my father-in-law's. But I love hearing what everybody else does. We're taking advantage of as many holidays down there as we can. But it's gonna be, I love that shepherd's pie. It's so good. The secret to my recipe is I go and get a gravy packet, and I just, because it doesn't need to be gluten-free, so I'm okay. But there's my mascara. Do you see how it just opens the eyes up? Sometimes you just don't need, to me, if you need to cut corners with your makeup, add your liner, add your mascara, and then add your makeup. You may not need eyeshadow, because sometimes eyeshadow takes a long time. If you've been here, you know eyeshadow can take a while. Sometimes if I think I need a little extra kick, I will grab my Beauty Society eye candies. I'll grab this one. Which color is this one again? Sorbet. Yeah, this is Sorbet, and it just adds a little peachy shimmer, and I'll put it on my lid if I feel like I need to jazz it up, because the other color I have is Cocoa. It's darker than this. It's too dark, and it's very hard to work with. All right. Hi, hello. All right, now we're gonna do our actual makeup, and it's gonna make everything pull together. We're not gonna pay attention to how messy my room is. This room's going through a transition, and I'm not sure where it's going. But we're gonna use, I feel like I need to change a color because I'm out. I've pretty much run the course of my corrector here, Walnut. I think I'm just gonna grab one from here. I did somebody's makeup last week she was doing some training videos, and I do her makeup for them, and we're just gonna, oh, biscuits. Do I not have one? Oh no. Well, there's that. I don't have a walnut on me. I don't want to go look over there. Anyways, I'm gonna put walnut back in, and we're gonna make this one work. I'm gonna take my little blade here. If you're ever low, go and scrape the edge of your tin and grab what you can out of it, and then get all of it. Okay, we're gonna get all of it. That's what I have left. And I'm just gonna put it on one corner. We're just gonna pack that in to one good corner here. And that's what I'm gonna correct with today. Can I? Yes, I can, because it's 80% pigmentation and it's not my contour. If that was gonna be my face contour, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, that's a lot. Maybe that was a good idea that I did that. Okay. Shape brush for correcting. It's my favorite, and I linked this. This is my favorite primer. I didn't link this one, and I should have, but I refused to do it during my live. This is what I've been doing lately, and it's been really helping with the longevity of my cheek. So take this with what you want. I don't recommend 2 products, but one of the things, I love this product. This is the Professionals. I got the travel size to try it. Like I always tell people, a little does not go a long way. A little goes a little way. And I would almost say a lot goes a little way. It is a very thin product. Milk Hydro Grip, you could take a little bit and you can get it everywhere. This stuff adds a good stick to your makeup, and I'm oily, and so I want extra grab. But when it comes to my cheeks, I have a lot of pores right here, and I'm getting not younger. So I've been playing with this because I have, sorry, my voice is doing something. Hold on, let me have some coffee. Let's have some coffee. My pores are getting bigger because I'm not getting younger, and I'm 45. I've been using this just on my cheeks. I use a foundation brush, and that's how I've been applying it. But I mean, watch. We're going to grab this. This is how much I'm going to use, and this is, to me, seems like a lot. It just disappears into the skin really. My skin sucks it up. So all that to say, that to me seemed like a good amount. It's just enough for the apples. So I think a lot goes a little way. So I have to add more. I love the smell of this stuff though. If you're not a perfume person, stay away. This has a heavy perfume. But this, a lot, to me, that's a lot for a cheek. That's a lot for a cheek, all right? Like, oh, biscuits. But do you see that? It's like half a pinky nail. So it just goes right in, and it just disappears immediately. I think a lot goes a little way, and that's just something to keep in mind. But I don't have a dupe for this, and this has been making my makeup last longer, and my stuff doesn't pull through as much, and I can sit comfortably throughout the day. Does that make sense? So if you're looking for a good pore primer, the Porefessionals is awesome. I like their setting spray a lot, and I have been using both, but there's a lot of great setting sprays out there. Porefessionals, God, I love the smell of that stuff. I can still smell it. That's what I mean when it's perfumed. It's very perfumed. It smells so good. But I really like the Blue Marble because I'm oily, so I want a film forming spray, and I think this one works a little better than the Porefessionals. I just can't. There's a link in the description to get that. I can't direct link it on here. So, Milk Hydro Grip, #1, but for pore problems, Porefessionals primer is really good, and I prefer applying it with a brush. All right, now we can correct. I'm going to go into Aspen. Yes, this needs to get cleaned. This is a well-used, wonderful palette. And so this is Saint. This is what I'm going to use today. 80% pigmentation, $16 a color. You're not going to find those two things in a customizable palette. You can build this however you want, and there's different sizes. You're not going to find something that goes on. So, and just stay with me because let's get into my business. All right. Let's be real about, I don't do beauty filters, especially when it comes to makeup. I love a good filter. Who doesn't want to turn themselves into a llama? Okay. But, or have big, beautiful lips. I love a good filter. But when you're talking about makeup, I want you to really pay attention because there are blurring filters, and I have pores. I've got broken capillaries. I've got redness around my nose. I have scarring, hyperpigmentation, under eye discolor. Like this is sun damage, these little freckles down here, but I have darkness. I want you to see, I've got a healing scratch. Like I've got stuff going on. Touch of rosacea. Today's a good rosacea day, but this makeup I've been using for over 6 years. If you have a foundation that you have consistently used over 6 years, awesome. This is the only makeup I've ever found that works with changing skin. And I'm going to stay pretty zoomed in here. Changing skin is a thing. My skin isn't mature, but it isn't 20. I've got fine lines, and your makeup can make them look like they come down farther. No matter what your makeup, even good cream makeup, but creams are really great for changing skin. So if your skin is going through the change where there's deeper lines, more fine lines, things are happening. Pores are getting bigger because pores are like a shirt, all right? Like the more crap you put in them, the bigger they're gonna get. So having something that works with it is really good. Having a makeup that fills them is going to do this. And so you're making a trade-off. You're going to have a very heavy makeup texture if you're using a makeup that does that. And if you're good with that, some people love that makeup texture. I don't. I want my skin to skin, but I want my makeup to makeup. Makeup will always look like makeup. How do you want your makeup to look is your call. I want maximum coverage, minimal makeup. Insert 80% pigmentation. Traditional cream makeups are 20% pigmentation. No, I'm sorry, 40%. So it's still half. All right, hello, Jeannie. Half the pigmentation in regular sticks. So let's just show you what a corrector can do. Now, this is a contour. It's gray. It's called Aspen. It's $16, but it's 80% pigmentation. My brush isn't clumped together, but we're gonna go right here and I'm just going to do that. My skin's not gray. Right in here and around my nose and up on my scratch. Okay? Happy Monday. 2 feet of snow in Wisconsin. Oh my gosh. Grab your soda pop and enjoy. Oh, 2 feet of snow. Ooh. I bet you're over it. All right. So that's just one application. Like, it looked a lot like this. It was actually a little worse than this side. That's what 80% pigmentation can do. I can still see my stuff, but the red is turned down. And the red is what can grab other colors. This is Saint makeup. This is Saint, and it's creams. It's super pigmented and it's affordable, and I can color match you. No, it is not an MLM. It used to be, but now it is an affiliate program. I don't know if that sometimes matters to people. I've been using it for 6 years and I love it. So to me, this works really well under traditional makeup also. So there's a way of hybriding this too. I'm not doing that today, but I have. But I'm gonna grab that Aspen again and we're gonna go right here over my scars. I used, the palette is also Saint makeup. It's all customizable. There's different colors, patterns, sizes, all the things. Okay. So this is old cystic acne. I used to get really horrible ooh, that primer makes your skin really soft. Okay, so we're gonna take this red scarring, I'm gonna take that Aspen, and I'm just gonna go just like that. You still see the dots, the red. The red is what grabs the blush, those pink blushes, peach blushes, or those deep burgundy kind of blushes. It's gonna grab and pull it through. So I'm muting it because it does two things. It mutes it down so there's nothing to really grab and over. Oh, what am I trying to say? Almost like double the blush because you have that pink underneath it. But it's also dense, so it's gonna hold my makeup on top. I'm gonna look like I don't got all this stuff on by the end of this. All right, now I'm gonna go into that contour I was just messing with, and I'm gonna grab it. It is the color Walnut, and it works really well with hyperpigmentation, which I have here. I have here and here. It is what it is. I'm just not looking to, chemical peel off a layer of skin. So I'm going to take that walnut contour color, and instead of covering this and this, I'm going to turn my skin a little bit of a deeper color, and I'm going to go around it and up it, and I'm going to camouflage it. Okay? You could still kind of see it, but the volume's turned down on it. The other thing is that because this is a dense contour, it's gonna hold my makeup on top of it. So this will look very minimized, if not completely gone by the end. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I mean, you can kind of see how dense this is just by seeing how pasty it looks. You're not looking to scoop this up. We're just putting it on the tips of the bristles. You're not clumping together. We're just putting it on it. I don't have chunks sticking together. Hyperpigmentation right up in this little area. So I'm just going to turn my skin a little bit of a deeper tone that's not crazy deeper, but it's close to that hyperpigmentation. So it just turns my skin in this area into a similar tone. Now, if you have freckles on your apples, just bring it up and over. You want to use it in a way that gives it a fluidity. So if you have freckles on your cheeks, give it something where you can take this brush and you can go over the hyperpigmentation and then just proceed it up. Don't just spot treat it. Make it an area that fluids and fades. So I go right here, but I bring it up here so it fades up. But my skin doesn't look wild. This is a great no makeup and going to the gym makeup if you don't want to go with a full face. This is a great starting point. So for my under eyes, I have the fine lines coming in. I'm 45. Not 20s, not 30s, but I'm not also mature, but my skin is changing. I've got stuff. That's just, everybody's stuff is different, but everybody's stuff is important to them. Like, that's all I want to say. All right, so I take a balm, which goes right into my palette here, and then I'm gonna add hydration under my eye. So I'm just putting this balm instead of on my lips, which you can do. This is great for the lips, okay? You get to put that under the eye, into that inner corner here, Go into those fine lines on the outside, okay? And we're just gonna press that in, and then I'm gonna go into this blush color right here. This is called Frenchie, it's a peach color. And I'm going to go in and I'm gonna cancel some of this darkness with it. And I'm gonna mix it with that balm. I prefer this over corrector spot treatments because it works and it's more affordable. $16. Okay, how would I use it on my chin? All right, I'll show y'all. Everybody's is different. Hold on, I'm gonna grab my blend brush on the small end. I'm gonna grab some of that Aspen. I'm just gonna go right there and dull that red. Do you see that? Okay, you love makeup, so do I. Makeup is fun. Makeup doesn't stop being fun when you become a grown-up. Makeup should be fun, and this makes makeup fun again because it's new. So you would take your color and I would go on your chin and then up onto the cheek. That's what I would do, but then you can also bring it down your chin too. You just don't want it to look like, you know, you just need to blend it in a fluid way of where you would see. Check your shadows. So I have this shadow right here. So I wouldn't want to bring it here. I'm gonna follow it up this little strap. I call it my strap, but that's how I would do it. It's all based off of the structure of your face. So check the structure of your face. I have just a very defined chin and this right here. This is for my pillow. So I stay on this pillow line. It is what it is. Okay. So that's how I would do my chin. All right, so we've got the corrector on. Now we can go in and do the makeup. So if you don't have any stuff, skip all that. Also, try things. If you have a really deep red, more of a purple, you know, that deep dark rosacea, send me a picture. We'll talk about different because Aspen won't work for that purpley deep red of rosacea. Okay, now we're gonna go in and I'm gonna use my foundation colors. So this is my truest tone. Yeah, I like showing my palette like this. A lot of people are like, clean your palette. You can melt these on your stove. On simmer, on a skillet if you have gas, on a glass top, I just put it right there. But you can melt these, swirl them with a toothpick, it cleans them out because stuff gets in there, and then it resets them. If things are too dense, you can give it a reset, blast it with a blow dryer. Like, you'll use 100%. You're not gonna lose things in a bottle anymore. You are very welcome, Dickie. I'm gonna use my blush and bronzer brush, and I'm gonna go into Aspen Foundation. And I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna balance my skin tone here. Having the right color is key. You want this to look like it just erased stuff and left your skin by. My neck is always lighter than my face. We're gonna solve that in a little bit. I'm gonna stipple onto my cheeks here and give a little extra coverage on my stuff and then go in right here. Not too much, just enough. Grab a little, get that chin underneath. I go under my chin because I'm gonna add a light color right here, okay? This is the color Athens. This is the color Athens. And as you mature, your foundation used to work. If it starts looking flat and light, that's just a mature skin thing. Sometimes when you perfectly match a skin tone at a mature age, it can make it flat. Go up one shade. Just bump up a shade. If you're using Saint, message me and we can talk about it. But I always go a shade darker on mature skin because it adds a little something extra. If I put anything lighter, it would actually mature my skin. And so this just adds a little life in, but a good color match makes a difference on any makeup. All right, so I'm just doing that. And now my Zoom is probably all messed up. She keeps calling me. Let me just see, I can't text, oh wait, can I? Hold on, I have to text my sister from my laptop that says stop calling me. Hold on. We gotta try to figure out how to send my sister a message that says stop calling. We are gonna go into something. I can do it on this chat. Okay. Jennifer, I will call you back. I'm working. Woo! It's hard. my Zoom completely screwed up now. I get really frustrated with my family when they repeatedly call, 'cause do not disturb. So she's called me 3 times. Somebody better be dying. But I need to know if my face is taking up the entire screen, because anytime somebody calls, we have to rework the Zoom. I once did this and my phone rang, and the only thing people could see was my nose or my mouth, and we don't need that. So, jeez, how's my Zoom? Can we see my hands? So somebody's here has got to speak up. Alice is usually here, but I need help on that to check my Zoom, and then we can start diving back in, because I hate talking. I have a hair that I cannot find, and I need somebody to tell me my Zoom is fine. But, or I'll just keep going and see what people say. But I can't play with my Zoom until I know where I am. All right, so I've just balanced the lower part of my face. When you're playing with makeup and you're wanting the most and the least, if you have a traditional foundation that you really love, but the powder's making your skin like contours, bronzers, blushes, they can sometimes give your skin a drier look. And if you're wanting a more hydrated look, I would recommend hybriding your foundation that you love with a cream contour bronzer. You can hybrid these with that, with one of our smaller palette. You can get a little palette like this, and it can hold. No, I have to go into a chat with my cousins. Anyways, but you can have just your contour, just your bronzer, just your blush in here and make it the perfect kind of hybrid palette. I actually have a palette, this one. This to me is your hybrid palette. This is a palette 6, and it will hold 6 full sizes. And you can have your contours, your blushes, your bronzers, everything in one place. And all the blushes are also correctors. They're also lip liners and lipsticks. So there's that. Okay, I've lost a lot of people and I don't know why. Okay, we're gonna get back into this. We are gonna go into my contour here. This is Cedar. This also works really well with hyperpigmentation because it has a similar tone. It's a little bit darker than this, so it's gonna add a little bit more of a punch to help with that natural shadowing. We're gonna go in, I'm using a detail brush. It's a dense brush. We're not having our bristles stick together. Bristles are bristling. And I am going to go, and I'm just gonna start with my forehead on the outside where we have natural shadowing. It's not super punchy. This is just like foundation. It should look like I'm making my shadow better. So it's giving me coverage and balance and dimension, and it's not some wild, crazy color. This should be an accentuation of a tone that's already there. That's it. That's all you needed. That's what's good about 80% pigmentation. Minimal makeup, but you get a lot out of it. And that's what we're all looking for, especially with changing skin. Okay, so we're gonna grab a little bit more. I live on the edge of this brush. I'm gonna stay above this natural shadow. We're going right here, above. And again, not super crazy, but I am under blending this. Okay, hello UK. We're going up just like that. We're gonna grab a little bit more. And again, I have that hyperpigmentation. This one's my darkest. This color works really well with it. And so my hyperpigmentation is right in my traffic zone. So I'm going above my natural shadow, hanging it pretty far back and up the temple towards where I put it on my forehead. And it will give your skin some lift, give things a little bit of a snatching. Grabbing a little more. Now again, remember, 80% pigmentation. What you're used to putting on, pull back. You could always add more. We're gonna go in front of the earlobe here and down. And then I'm also gonna bring it down my neck. This is gonna help add that balance from one to the other. Grabbing a little bit more. We're gonna do the same thing over here in front of the earlobe, down. I've been seeing a lot of people doing, I've been doing this for years, but I've been seeing a lot of people lately doing this on the TikTok and all the things, but they're like doing this whole like pull their ear out. It's the same thing. You don't have to pull your earlobe out, but we're bringing that down. And now I'm gonna do my nose. So we're gonna grab it on that edge, and you're gonna go on the top side of your nose. Just follow your natural shadowing. Every nose, I always tell people, go on Pinterest and look at nose contouring based off of the shape of your nose, because everybody's nose is a little bit different. And some people have a heavier shadow. My method for something like that is because I have a customer who I do her makeup, but her contour really pulls on her nose. So I'll contour, and whatever's left on the brush, I'll go in and contour her nose with what's left on the brush. And it pulls perfectly when we do that. So there's always troubleshooting to be done. Sometimes you don't need a full brush of makeup. Sometimes you just need the leftover. Okay, so there's that. You could also take it and you could bump it onto your brow bone here if you want. Stay away from creases if that's what you're doing, because it will crease. It's cream. So that's just what it is. What is my family doing? Anyways, I'm gonna go to the small end of this detail brush. We're gonna go into a brighter shade. So this is my main shade. And I don't like coming to you with a brand new palette every time. I want you to see the stuff I'm doing is the stuff I'm using. And I go into this color Sunlit. It has yellow undertones to help with redness. We're gonna go right here where the light's already reflecting. And then we're gonna push this over and we're gonna push this over. And then I'm just gonna pull this towards that contour. We have natural reflecting light. This is just putting our colors on based off of the tones that are already living with our skin. Shadow tones, reflecting tones, that's it. All right, taking a little bit more, I'm gonna pinch this and I'm just gonna go right down the middle, just like that. And this just straightens out the nose. So if you have a nose with a little bit of a bend, I have a bump. So I will bring my contour all the way across, and then I'll use a brightener to give a faux straight line, like that. It's easy. And then we can take just what's left. We're gonna hit that Cupid's bow and then the chin. And this gives us just natural dimension. And so I can hybrid in my main highlight, which I brought down, with that brightening highlight right here. And so the days of having this goes here, just play. Play with your makeup, try different methods. You're not making a commitment like a tattoo. This is makeup, it washes off. So keeping all that in mind. All right, I'm gonna use 3 blushes because I want a little bit of spring into my everyday. I always use Frenchie, which is why I say 3. Always Frenchie over my scars. So my scars that are showing, but they're not red, I put a peach tone on them with my finger. And this is gonna help from it pulling through. I go into this color, it's called Nude, and I bring that up here. I like applying my blush like this. It gives me more control. This is my blush color, but this is this color right here is more of a tool, kind of like my under eyes. I use it to correct my under eyes, but I also use it to correct my scarring. And then Nude to me is my blush. But because it's spring, I go in and I grab Dahlia and I just add a dot of Dahlia to it, just to add a little pink flushness. So to me, my blush is Nude and Dahlia. But this corrector right here is just a corrector. We're gonna use that blush and bronzer brush. Hello, Kathy. And I'm gonna start up here with that Nude and Dahlia and let that be my blush. Just like that. And then when it's done, I bring it down to my apples. Just like that. Super simple. Same thing over here. That Nude and that Dahlia, that's my main show. That's my blush. But I don't want anything pulling my scarring through, so Frenchie is my corrector. My tummy is gurgling. And I forgot to have breakfast. It is what it is. I'm gonna take whatever's right here and go right on the bridge of my nose, just to add a little flushness. Not a big deal. And then we can go in and do our under eyes. And I'm gonna use that same brightening shade right here. It's nice when you're not digging through a bag anymore, because 70% of your makeup time, if you're in a bag, is spent digging in your bag. It's a game changer. That's an extra cup of coffee in your morning. That's what I like. I'm gonna use my shape brush. I use 3 brushes. These are my ride or dies. These go with me everywhere. My shape brush for correcting, my blush and bronzer for my face and my blush, and then this is my detail brush for my contour. I'm gonna use a small end of this brush. We're gonna go into that light Sunlit shade, and we are going to do under eyes. So I always start outside of this trough. If you apply cream to any direct texture, you're going to accentuate it. And we're trying to enhance our under eyes. We're trying to brighten our face, and our brightness comes from our eyes. And so we are gonna work outside of this trough. We're not able to erase it, but we don't have to accentuate it by adding a bunch of makeup to it, which is going to enhance those fine lines. If you have puffiness, if you have a deep trough, putting that cream directly on that soft tissue is going to make it more. So we're just gonna add right here, and then we're gonna go up the orbital bone and up. This is gonna give that face some lift. Everything works in an out and up way. And then I'm gonna go right outside of the trough here to that inner corner, just like that. Now we're just gonna tap them together. And then as they're blended down, then we bring them to the soft tissue. We're gonna work it upward, but thinner. And it's 80% pigmentation. And then I bring what's left into my smile line. And this just gives it a little bit of life. Fluffy brush to blend everything together from brightening to blush. And that's, my trough is still there. I don't have heavy makeup. The more is more. And so using something with 80% pigmentation is gonna give you maximum coverage, minimal product. And that's kind of what you want, especially when you're working around your eyes. All right, we're gonna take it again, work with that little shine right down here, up that orbital bone, working upward, and then right in here, just like that. All right, if you need to grab more, but not onto that soft tissue. And then blendy, 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 and then go onto that soft tissue right here. And then go down into that smile line. Boom. Boom, boom. Done. So easy. And now we can go in and add things if we want to add them, make blush more blushy, but it makes everything pull together once you get to this point, and then you can set it. So I'm oily. If you are oily and think you can't wear creams, it's all about the way you set your makeup. It's also about the way you prime it. So I would recommend Milk Hydro Grip because it has that little bit of stick. And then I recommend Blue Marble. This is a film forming spray and it's really good. And you know, I get it off of Amazon. Get the travel size. They have one. There's a link in the description. You want this stuff. This is good stuff. You're gonna shake it and then we're gonna spray and get our face good and damp. It's got a good sprayer. It's a lot, but it's okay. And then I'm gonna take setting powder. I use Saint's Blotting Dust because it has this to it. You see how nice that is? That sheen? That is gonna let your skin be dewy. So we're gonna take the fluffy end of this brush. I'm gonna grab, I use 2, but this is what I mean. There's so many sizes and a palette 2 is so good for setting powder because I don't like my powders by my creams. And then I work where my phone goes first because that's gonna pick up makeup. And then I work it up and then down, up and then down. I'm really oily right here and right here. So I always work on the outside first and then I work in on my forehead and then I bring it in and I do try to avoid my pores. And then when my brush is empty, I'll bring it to my under eyes. And it just gives you a really nice finish, but still lets your skin. Pardon me, this is not a hair tutorial. All right, grabbing that same powder, again, where your phone goes, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then I'll bring it around, and then I'll bring it in, and then under the eyes when I think it's empty, and then I'll hit my smile lines last. And then my makeup is set, and I can go in and do other final touches. I like to make sure my face is done before I go in and do my brows. So my brows I also keep in a separate palette, another palette 2. I keep a cleaning tile, and I keep 2 shades, just depending on my flavor. I use 2 shades. Some days I use a lighter color, sometimes I use a darker color, but it's okay to have, you could also just put it in the bottom layer right down here. I have a few things, not a lot, but I like to get all up in my biz when I'm doing my brows because I like a structured brow. I think I've had the same brows for a very, very, very long time, but I'm gonna use a line brush that has a spoolie. All of this is Saint, by the way. All of this is Saint. It's nice when you can get it all in one place. And it's just a quick shop because, man, I was shopping this weekend for Easter and going around. Oh, Lord. Shopping in one place is nice. I like it. But I'm going into the color Trust because I like them a little bit deeper. And I really like to focus on structuring my corner right in here. This is to me, a part that I like. So I'm gonna take this corner here where my brow comes to a point, and then I'm just gonna follow it to the inner corner of my eye, and then I just finish it. Like that. I like an arch. And then I take that corner and I flick up. And then I just fill in this corner here, pulling from that front flick, and then I just work my way around. I'm gonna grab my lighter shade and I'm going to follow this corner up and over, and then I extend my brow. But having a palette where it's just right here, grabbing that lighter color, I really use that darker color on that corner. The rest I use is the color Oak, and I'm just gonna finish off this arch, filling in, because in 1992, we were taught on Baywatch we don't need eyebrows. So Pamela Anderson taught me I don't need my eyebrows, so I overplucked them. And then I'm just going to blend everything in. I'm gonna take my spoolie, and I'm going to pick up excess and blend down excess powder. I have pretty short hairs, and so I don't use wax because I don't have hairs that are just everywhere. I just keep it clean and pick up and there's my brow. That's a nice looking arch. I like my brows, but I just don't have that little corner there. So again, we're gonna take that darker color. We're gonna take this corner and just follow the flow of the brow down. Grab another bit of that trust color, and then we're gonna flick, 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 and then we fill that corner in. Just like that. Don't worry, we trust the process. I'm gonna go into Oak, and we're going to go across the bottom and then extend it just like that. Fill in that arch up here, bring it out, follow that tail, and bring it down. Flick off any excess, fallout can't happen, not a big deal. We set our makeup, it'll all work out. And then I'm just filling it in, grabbing that spoolie, combing, and blending. Ta-da, that's my brows. All right, last but not least, we're gonna do the finish is my little dad. I call them my dad lips because I got them from my dad. I don't have any filler. My lips have full movement. I've done a lip flip. I love a lip flip. I recommend them if you're having pictures taken because it doesn't make your lips fuller. It just makes it so that if you get nervous and you smile without your lip, it relaxes it and there's nothing you could do but have a lip when you smile. I get anxious around people and it tucks when I smile instead of showing it. Anyway, I like a lip flip when it's important. They don't last very long, 3 to 4 weeks. So I don't recommend them as like a way of life every day. Anyway, I'm gonna take my detail brush. I'm gonna go into that contour here. And this is how I make them look a little fuller. I'm going to go right underneath and add a shadow in the middle. Some people like to go all the way around their lip. I do not. I want a little shadow here and then a little shadow up here. Instead of outer lining, I outer shadow. So it just adds, you see that little shadow? Boom. All right, then I'm gonna take this small and I'm gonna go into that brightening shade and I'm gonna go right here. And this is just going to give my lips really good structure and contrast so that when I put my lip color on, no matter if it's bold or not, it is a standalone. I'm gonna buff down this, okay? Hello, Margie. Is it Margie? All right. So this just adds shadow. You can put, let's show. I'm gonna take a balm. This is Saint. This is called Lip Whip. It's so good. I use the heck out of Saint. It's just what I do. All right. I use other things, but this is my favorite clear gloss. So you can contour your lips and then you could just add a clear gloss if you want and go. And your lips will look really nice, naturally toned, but that shadow helps. Try it. See what you think of it. Everybody's got a clear gloss laying around. There's also something with Saint called Diamonds Are Forever. I'm almost out. And it has a shimmer to it. You could put that on. Okay? This just has a little bit of frost, a little bit of shimmer. Take what you want, leave what you don't. If you're not a color girl, put those on and contour around. This doesn't look bad. However, I like a little color. So I'm going to take I'm going to take Renaissance because it's my favorite. It's this burgundy color. And then I'm going to take that endpoint brush that I used on my liner and go on the other side. And we're going to go in to Renaissance. And I'm going to line my lips. So just line your lips. You got that outer shadow, so you don't need to outer line. And you can just hug that edge without outer lining. Because let's be honest, when you've drawn outside of your lip line, nobody's missing it. Everybody can see. And so I like to do the shadow instead. But I also think favorite habits are hard to break. And if you love it, do it. I'm not going to yuck your yum. All right. And I'm taking this deep color and lining right at the edge of my lip. Okay. Give it a little bufferoo if you need to, which I do. And then I'm going to take, let's do Dahlia, the color on my cheeks. Let's add that one because it's pretty. So I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to go right here and I'm going to make it pink. And it can be really pretty. So you can go super natural or grab it pink and make it pink. I mean, it's spring. And that's my makeup. But I just think if you want fuller lips and you don't want to go and do the, I heard they hurt. I also heard they're expensive. I'm too scared. I've seen them look really beautiful, but I've also seen them look really scary. And in my luck, I'd be on the other side. It's gonna be scary. But I also think once I add color and once I add the shadow, I'm good. I'm confident. And makeup is our own personal confidence booster. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit because I really don't know where my zoom is. But when you're wearing your makeup, the first thing you can think about is what are you doing that day? You know, that matters. And you're not too late. I'm at the end. But I will say, I'm going to say this really quick before people drop off. Tomorrow only. Lucky, which is my liner today, here and here. It's green. Where is it? Free gift with purchase. So if you're needing restocks and you want a nice deep green, it was free last year. It's a really great pressed pigment. It's free with gift with purchase. It's a really, I get my brush wet and it makes a great eyeliner. And that's what I did today. No eyeshadow, just eyeliner, and it's green. It's great for brown eyes. I have brown eyes, that's why I say that. Hazel eyes, I don't know. Anyways, when you get up and you're about to do your makeup, that's your time where you're doing something that is for nobody else, okay? And when you walk by the mirror, who do you expect to see looking back? That's the question you ask when you sit down and do your makeup. Who do you want to be when you walk by? Because that's who's going to make you feel your best. Not somebody waiting for somebody to tell you you look nice. I'm married. I know how that goes. It doesn't always happen. But it's always nice when it does. But that's a cherry on top. The way you see yourself should be your most confident. And if that's with makeup, great. If it's without makeup, great. It's personal. It's personal to you. And the way the world is these days, everybody's opinion is the most important opinion. Let your opinion be the most important opinion to you. You do not need to push your opinion about the way somebody wears their makeup on somebody else. Okay? So, while I'm telling people opinions matter, that's my opinion to everybody. But you should feel your best, and how that looks is up to you. I like giving options. I like giving tools. And lately, no eyeshadow's been my favorite. My favorite has been just my natural discoloration. Makes me maybe look a little less high maintenance, but I am who I am. I'm a high maintenance broad, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I get along great with myself. So my jokes are really funny to me. And so I feel good in my makeup. I also think cream makeup for women going through skin changes is a big, when your skin is changing and the frustration. I remember when my skin was changing and I would do my makeup and I knew I had to do my makeup early because it had to sit for at least an hour so it could look better. Like, why should I be waiting for the oil in my skin to make my makeup look better? And it was because I was using makeup that wasn't working with me anymore. I want makeup that works with me. And when you have maturing skin or mature skin, You need makeup that has hydration and movability. You gotta be able to reset that makeup. Otherwise, halfway through the day, you have makeup you can't reset. And I wanna know that if anything creases or moves, I can push it back out. You can absolutely do that with a good cream makeup. I like this one because of two things. It's $16. Traditional stick cream makeups are 30 plus. $16. But they're also 80% pigmentation. Those two things together just don't happen. Other stick creams are 40%. So this is twice as much as other sticks. So the pigmentation is going to give you the coverage. If you want to use those other foundation sticks, great. You do need to add more. You've got to build it up. You don't have to build it up as much with this. Like coverage. We know we're putting something on, okay? But there is no harm in makeup. And it sucks that women have to explain. Okay, it sucks that I have to explain to some people, which we didn't have to today, which was great, that makeup is for us. That's a no-brainer. We don't need chocolate either. We don't need ice cream. We don't need beer. But it's nice. We don't need makeup. You're right. We don't need makeup. Do we like it? Do we like chocolate? Do we like ice cream? Do we like a glass of champagne? Do we like a beer? Yeah. Do we need it? No. But it sure makes life nice. So if makeup is making you feel nice, do it. Do it. All right, that's it. I hope everybody has an amazing St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Go get your makeup. Message me for a color match. I'll get it to you today. And you can get your free shadow tomorrow. But if there's anything that you're thinking you want, I would recommend, if there's just, what should I get to add to my collection? With makeup, I would say, if you're oily, go get that blotting dust. That stuff is great. With any powder comes responsibility of applying it lightly. But I also really like Xanadu bronzer. If you haven't added that to your collection, maybe it's time to add some brows. Maybe you're looking at the black eyeliner because it's a great water lining brow that the water lining eyeliner does not transfer. I put it on, it did not move down. You don't end up with that black gunky stuff in your inner corner. It's a great product. So my stomach needs breakfast and I got my face on. And I did it in an hour with all the talking I do. But I also didn't do eyeshadow. So have a great day.